Hi everyone, it's Sue. Hope you're all doing really well. I've just turned the camera on again today because I want to have a play with these dies. Now, I've had these for ages and I never know what to do with them. So you and I are going to have a play today and see what we can come up with. Still working on these slimline journals. They're almost done, I think. So I just need to get a few more bits and pieces done for them. And hopefully I'll be able to do a flip through then. So I've just made a cuppa, living on buckets of coffee lately. So I recently hosted my first retreat for Paper Inspirations and it went really well. But I'm paying the price now with all the prep and everything. I'm just so absolutely exhausted. Anyway, let's get on with this. As I said, I never know really what to do with these. I do love this because there's lots of botanicals in these. You can see here in these, and there's, you know, lots of botanical prints and florals and everything all the way through. So I thought that rose one I really liked, which is this one. So I thought I might use that one. And I'm going to use the same Prima paper as I used in a previous video. If I can find what I've done with it now. Oh, I absolutely love this range. I can't believe that I've hoarded it for so long. I must have had this for quite a few years. And I'm just thinking some of the backs of these are really lovely. I love this one here. So what will I do? I might cut a couple of tags out of this one. I mean, that's pretty as well, but for what I'm needing it for, I'm wanting this, I think. So I'm going to trim this down, and I'm just trying to think how. I've got to keep in mind that I need to need to fit in the slimline journal. So the widest part of the die is here, so 3 inches. So if we do 3 1/4 inches, that's going to fit in there, I think. Yeah, 3 1/4. All right. So if I cut this in half into 6 inches, and then cut a couple at 3 1/4. That sheet in half by to 6 inches. My cutter's playing up a little bit, and I managed to get 3 cards, and then I've got a little bit left. I need to make some slimline journaling cards or tags anyway, so I'll keep that and use it in something else. This paper is just so stunning, isn't it? All right, so what I'm going to do now is, what I'm thinking is making this into a journaling card. And so laying it about there, cutting it out, and then putting some of my coffee dyed card underneath so you can see some of that coming through. Let's just cut them out and see what happens. I've cut them out. Just trying to find my little mat. I don't know what I've done with it. I've got a soft mat that you lay this on and rub this wire brush over, and it gets all these little bits out. And I've got, my room is just, I mean, I say this I think in every video, my room is a mess, but even more so, I finally, after 4 months, managed to get James and Matt to put this cupboard together that I purchased. And so they've just picked things up and just thrown stuff everywhere, and yeah, I can't find anything now. Anyway, my cupboard's up after 4 months, so I shouldn't complain, should I? So I'm just going to poke these out, the little innards out here as best I can. This is really stunning, this die cut. Okay, so I've got all the bits out of there. I have to find that mat because it's so much easier with the mat and the wire brush. But we've got that done. I'm thinking I might... I'm going to distress around... I'm going to find my distress tool. Distress around the edges and ink them. I'm going to do the three of these while I'm going. I'll just do them as a little bit of a production line, but they will look different. They're not going to be exactly the same. Some of these journals have ended up getting different items in them compared to others, so none are exactly the same, which is good. Managed to tear this a little bit, but we're not going to see that anyway, so I'll just snip that off. Could even have it go that way if you wanted to. I'm going to have them go this way. I've got some scraps of my coffee dyed card over here. Well, that's just about perfect, isn't it? Because it's quite a nice soft pastel colour, I wanted it just to be quite subtle. I did actually grab out, let me have a look here, some cardstock, thinking that I could even add, oops, coloured cardstock underneath. Don't particularly like that. I mean, you can get, depending on what look you want. So even that's quite nice. It's pretty. You could just do a multitude, even the white's quite nice. But I think I like the coffee dyed card, so that's going to give it a little bit of sturdiness to the card, and also it's going to have plain on the back so it can be written on. So I think I quite like the way this looks. So I'm going to use that. I need to get another piece of cardstock for the third. So I wonder how high this is. So that's about six and a quarter. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mark that and cut that. So that fits quite nicely. And what does that measure? That measures nearly 3.5. And cut that one a little bit narrower, but that doesn't matter. That'll work just as well. All right. So that's for 2 of them, and then I need a little bit more for the third. So if we do 6 1/4, which is about there, I think. 6 1/4. So I'll make these 3. I'll make one first and hopefully it works out, and then I'll just, because I've got 8 journals, so it works quite well, doesn't it? And I'm not even really measuring, I'm just putting a pencil mark or eyeballing it, so that'll do. So if these work out, I will do similar for the other journals as well. Right, so I'm just going to, we could even put it that way and then have that at the back. I think I like the pattern showing through there though, so I think I'm going to leave the pattern under the cutout. I'm going to distress around the coffee dye card and ink that. So I've inked around both of those pieces and I'm really loving how that's looking. So I'm just going to glue this down to the card and then I'm going to sew around the 4 sides. I'm really enjoying how these are coming together. So just really nice and subtle. I mean, I like the look of that, but I'm thinking I might want to add, I think I'm going to add a butterfly and maybe some gold foiling around the edges. And I think I want to add something on the back. I do have this. I actually bought this for packaging for my shop and love the color of it. So I think what I want to do is maybe emboss some of that. Have I got an embossing folder here? I might use this one, I think. So I think I'm going to emboss this, do a couple of pieces, and then I'm going to emboss enough to do 8 cards because I've got the 8 journals. It's very fine, so I'm hoping that it won't tear through the paper too much, but we'll just see what happens. So these embossed up really lovely. It has broken through some of the paper in places, but you're not going to see that. I did actually put the paper in the wrong way in this one, but I'm still going to use it. I think it looks nice. So what I'm thinking is just maybe tearing, what am I thinking of doing? I don't know. I want to straighten up one edge. And maybe just tearing roughly, not thinking too much about what I'm doing, and just add a little bit in a corner. I can do either there or from the top. Let's do a couple. We'll do one from the bottom and one from the top. Just gives it a little something a little bit extra, and you've still got room to journal. I quite like that. Okay, so we'll do this one. We'll do from the top edge. Need to trim that straight. I'll do that from the top. And I'm going against what I said, leaving all this for journaling, but I just think this adds something, just that little bit extra to it. And then there's still room for, plenty of room for journaling. You can even add a little photo or something on top of this and just have parts of this embossing showing around the photo if you wanted to. And may as well do this one while we're going as well. So so this is the one that I put the paper in the wrong way in the embossing folder, but we can still use that. I like that. Okay. All right. So we're nearly done, but I think what I want to do is I want to add a butterfly, and I really do think I want to add some gold flakes around the edge. So I'm going to need my leafing size, the sizing, and I need to put that on so that it goes tacky before I add the gold leaf. So I might do that, and then I'll choose a butterfly, and then I'll have to let that dry and go tacky. So I'm just going to do that really randomly, and sorry about the top of my bottle, it's disgusting. Every time I open it, I think I should clean that, and then I forget about it until the next time. So I don't really know. I'm just going to, this brush I use all the time with the sizing because I never clean it. I wipe it with a like a nappy wipe, baby wipe, but it's quite stiff, and that's okay because I don't need it to be soft when I'm putting this on. So I'm just going to do 3 sides. I don't know why. I'm just really random. And that's way too much. So I'm just sort of putting it on, and then I'm going to put that to the side somewhere to dry while I do these. I'm not sure, can't really say how long they take to dry. I always go off and do something while I'm waiting for it to dry. But you just need it to be tacky. You can't put it on while it's wet, really wet, because it doesn't stick properly. So do that one. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm thinking the butterfly that I put on as well, I might, depending on which one I use, I might put a little bit of gold on that as well. So I'm going to end up in a big mess here, aren't I? So I just need to find my fussy cut butterflies. So these butterflies here are from the cotton and twig printables that I've been using throughout the journals as well. So they all go quite nicely. Isn't that lovely? Quite like that. So once again, I'm not trying to sort of think about it too much. So I'm going to glue that down. Need to refill my glue. So I'm leaving some of the wings loose, remembering that they're probably going to go into a pocket or something though. So I'm just going to stick that down like that. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of the sizing on the body. I think that might be quite nice. Just got to hold it up a bit closer so I can see what I'm doing. So I probably should use a finer brush because I don't want to get the sizing everywhere, but I don't want to mess up another paintbrush. So I'm just going to leave that like that. That one's cute. I'm hoping to try and have these journals done in the next week or so. I just keep adding to them. I always have that problem. I never know when to stop. And I'm not sure what sort of closure I'm going to do just at the moment. So got a few ideas swirling around in my head. I need to work out how I'm going to close them as well. Okay, so that's two. So we've got to find another one here. It's quite cute. Oops. I've put too much there. Okay, so I'm just wiping that off, hoping that won't go onto the wings once this is dry. So all right, so I just need to leave those sit for I don't know how long. As I said, I've never really timed it, so I'm going to, I'll time it for you now. Leave them sit, and when they're tacky, we'll add some gold flakes. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, that has been about 10 minutes, and that is really quite tacky. So it is quite warm here today. So if it's cooler weather, it'll probably take a little bit longer. The bodies of the butterflies, you can see there's still, hopefully you can see there's still a little bit of white showing. So it's still a bit damp, but we'll do the edges first, and then we'll come back and do the bodies. So I've got a real mess in here and I always end up with gold leafing everywhere. So if you don't like this sort of mess, it's probably not something that you will enjoy, but it really doesn't bother me. I just love the effect, and I just use all the little bits that I've used before and brushed off. other projects. So you can use it all. And just sort of gently pop it on there and touch it down with my fingers. And you can feel if there's any tacky bits that you haven't covered. So just shake off any excess, and then you'll just need a really soft brush. I just use this fan brush. I know that's not what it's meant for, but it's nice and soft and it works really well to get the excess off. I like the flaked, how it looks all really rough and flaked. So you can get in these sheets here, I'll show you, you can get full sheets like that, and you can actually place that down, but you won't get this sort of effect, which is what I like. And I always like to leave a little bit there so that it will, like little bits of gold will come off through the journal as well. Not heaps, but just some nice little gold flecks here and there. So I'm just pulling off like those big clumpy bits. So you can see that. So I'm going to do the sides of these others. Just adding a little bit there. I could see a little bit of the sizing peeking through there. And then I'm going to add, so you can see now the white has gone from the bodies of the butterflies. I don't know whether that was showing up on camera, but that was, this one you can still see a little bit of white, so that's where it's really wet. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but the centers of them have gone clear now. So I'm just going to add some gold leafing on top of the bodies. And I'm just going to brush that off. Okay, So I have successfully made a huge mess. And I'll be finding gold flakes for weeks to come. So I've got the fan going as well, which doesn't help. And I'm really happy with the way these look. I don't think I need to add anything more to these. It just adds a little bit of shine to that. Let me have a look. Yeah. So that's what they look like on the back. It's a pretty quick and easy. That's something really pretty. Love the body of this one. I don't know, what do you think, guys? I'm going to go and make 5 more for these journals. I love how these turned out. Just that little element of gold, a bit of a sparkle. I'm really happy with that. I'm glad I had a play with that that die. So now I'm going to have more of a play with them and create some different bits and pieces with them. So, all right, I'm going to leave it with you guys. Hopefully soon I will be able to share a flip through of all these journals. As I said, one of them I will be giving away, so I'll give you more information when I get to that video. But in the meantime, take care, everyone, and until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. See you soon. Bye-bye.